Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gabriel, and today we are doing another twin flame energy reading. This reading is meant to be timeless, so no matter when you find it, no matter where you're at on your journey, there is a message for you here. So today we're going to be pulling from the Star Seed Oracle cards, and I only have half the box, but looks pretty cool. And I've already shuffled, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. All right, so the first card for today is the Cosmic Heart. Devotion, potency, making your life a moving prayer. Yeah, there's a quote that's like trying to come to mind, and unfortunately, like I can't really. It's like a Yogananda quote that's been circulating that is essentially like it requires devotion in order to be with God and to um, really experience and have God come to you. And your twin flame journey is no different. It really requires devotion, because if you think about it, your twin flame is God coming through your twin flame to be with you. And if you're not devoted to the journey, if you're not 100% in, if you're not dedicating your life to this journey, not to your twin flame, but to this journey, then you're not going to see the results that you really want. And the thing is, like, you might think, well, if I have to commit myself 100%, I'm out. But really what you're doing is committing yourself 100% to yourself. You're committing yourself 100% to your divine self, to the betterment of yourself, to the awakening of yourself, to your relationship with God and the universe. So what could be more rewarding? What could be more fitting to devote yourself to than loving yourself and healing yourself and being the greatest divine version of you? That's really what this calls for, and that's really what this card is about, is really owning your not just your divinity, but really like committing to yourself, really committing to your path, committing to your healing, and not putting it on the back burner, not having it just this thing that you do on certain days, but really make it your life. Really make it your life is like should be like a meditation. It doesn't have to start out that way, especially if you're just starting out on the journey. You don't have to go from where you're at to yogi. In fact, like this journey, while meditation is encouraged, it's not you're sitting in a temple and doing inner work 24/7. It is you build up to a relationship with God, and where you're meditating and you're doing the mirror exercise almost constantly in the background doing inner work. But when you first start out, it's okay to just say, like, I devote myself to it, and you give it everything you got. You go all in from where you're at, not where you think you should be. So that's very key. But devote yourself to your healing, devote yourself to your journey. And if you feel like you're not all in yet, what's stopping you? And then go there and heal, so you can take your next step. All right, so the next card is the Seven Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, Expression. This feels like life purpose. Like, it says expression, and really what it feels like to me is kind of really getting in touch with who you are. I saw a video from another coach recently that said, like, that part of life purpose was expressing herself more. And it's really true that, like, you, in order to know your life purpose and in order to connect with your life purpose and that be revealed and be able to live in that space, you really have to get to know yourself. And getting to know yourself is knowing your divine expression. That's what you are. You are a divine expression of God. And if you don't know yourself, you can't express that. And the mirror exercise helps you do that. It helps you get clear on who you are. But it's really important and safe to explore who you are, explore what you like, what you don't like. Really spend that time getting to know yourself. It's worth it. And Jeff and Shalia talk about this a lot throughout TFAS and LPC, but it's really important to get to know yourself, because you can't recognize your twin flame, you can't recognize your life purpose. You can't live the life of your dreams if you're not clear on who you are. But this is really calling you to express yourself. So we're devoting ourselves, we're expressing ourselves, we're moving towards life purpose. All right, the next card is Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Yeah, like a lot of the time we have all these defenses built up against love, and sometimes we're numbed out to love, and a lot of times that expresses itself through anger, because anger is a mask for maybe the pain that we've been feeling, maybe the uncertainty, maybe we get upset that we don't know ourselves as well as we'd like. I know I've experienced that where, you know, like even like feeling into it now, like there's like this deep sadness here of, you know, like wanting to know myself very deeply and very like intimately. And I feel, yeah, like I feel it too within myself. Like this is great. This is a great healing moment, guys. That I feel it within myself of just, you know, wanting to know myself and feeling upset that I don't know myself as well as I want to. And when you find yourself in these situations, it's really important to just be with yourself, love yourself, and understand that, like, this anger is just a numbing thing. And the sadness that you feel underneath is just a call for love. And love itself will not hurt you. Love itself cannot, is nothing to defend yourself from, because it's actually going to bring yourself into a deeper level of love and knowing who you are. We've been taught, a lot of us, that love is being abused, or love is being walked over, or love is being hurt. And love isn't any of those things. Like, love doesn't hurt. And if it hurt, what hurt you wasn't love, but the ego or the attachment to something, not love itself. So go to these places that feel this anger and really feel underneath it. Feel that hurt, and don't be afraid to face it. Don't be afraid to just look it straight in the eye and just, you know, like, feel through it. Because as you feel through it, it dissipates. As you're present with it, you're bringing love there. Just your very presence is loving. And ask it what it needs to feel loved. Remember, we're doing the mirror exercise here. You know, and give yourself everything you need to feel loved in this space. Like, it's very important to just love yourself all the way up and integrate that part of yourself back into yourself. Because you want to bring all these parts of you that feel afraid of love, feel separate from you. You want to bring them home. And if you're pushing away love, you're not able to experience that next level of love that you've been calling in. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is they heal, and then they hit this space where they're afraid of love, and then they push it away, and they're like, well, why didn't I go to the next level? It's because you got to that place, and you're like, no, I don't actually want what I called in. But it's safe here. It's safe. Like, nothing that is of love is going to harm you. All right. Next card. Jump in. Andromeda energy, adventure, say yes to change. Yeah, this is exactly what we were just talking about, is like, you're softening to this love. You're calling in your life purpose. I know I am too, like, calling in deeper levels of my life purpose, deeper levels of love. And you have to be willing to change. I know we've talked about this on this channel before, but, you know, it's really important. It's really something that I think is being driven home even more so than it already is. Like, we've talked about transformation energy for the past several months, and, you know, I've been moving through it. I know a lot of you have. I've seen your comments. But be open to change, and be open to, like, even constant change, because that's what life is. Like, think about it. Like, yes, there are regular cycles, but every year is a little different, and every experience you have, even if it's similar, is a little different. And God expands and grows and is wondrous. God doesn't change the fundamental nature of who he is, just like we don't change the fundamental nature of the love and divinity that we are as children of God. So the you that is you will stay constant, but you're changing in order to embody that. So be open to that, go all in with it, and you'll see the fruits of your labor. All right. And the last card, the bottom of the deck, the overall energy, is Cosmic Ancestor, Starkeeper. Seed the light by staying grounded. Yes, okay, good. When you undergo a big change, and this is something that I've learned over my process, my healing, my journey, is that it's very important to ground where you're at when you go through a big change. You will go through a lot of healing. You'll move through from one vortex to the other, right? And the inclination, at least for me, speaking for myself, is sometimes to like, okay, let's just keep going. And yes, we are getting the energy of going all in, right? But you go all in where you're at, and you don't try to push ahead to, oh, well, let's just keep upgrading, because you do want to keep upgrading, but you can only keep upgrading as far as you've integrated what you've learned before. Because if you just kind of stay in this high, like, oh my God, like I'm just going to keep going, you will eventually have to integrate the healing. You will have to eventually put into practice these challenges that you face, these lessons that you've learned. You need to integrate them fully and really fully learn them before you move to the next step. Because otherwise you're kind of like leaving a crumbling foundation. You've like started pouring your foundation, and then you like got distracted and you're like, let's just start building the house, like I'm ready to go, right? Like you like celebrated the milestone of starting to pour your foundation, and then you were just like too excited and started building the house before the foundation is dried, right? Like you want to make sure that the foundation is intact. You want to make sure that you've grounded into your healing and really feel at peace and really feel stable there. And that requires like maybe changing the way you've done things before. Just an example from my life, like I just moved, and my coaches pointed out that I was trying to just try to keep going, trying to keep upgrading, like, this card is warning against, to really integrate. I was just trying to keep going, right? And I was trying to perform at the level that I did before, but I had to honor the fact that I wasn't quite there yet. Like, I was trying to give and do the exact same things I did in my old space, and right now I'm not to the level of support I was at my old space. Like I'm still waiting for furniture to come. I'm still waiting for elements of my home to be put together. And while it is important to continue loving and supporting yourself, you have to honor where you're at. You have to integrate where you're at. You have to acknowledge that when you get to a new level, you're kind of starting almost at square one. You're not going all the way back to the beginning, but it's almost like when you come into this new vortex, you're kind of like a baby in diapers again. I want to say that like Jason Emmerich from As One Guidance, he's described it as like every time he's gone to this new level, he's like a baby in diapers again, right? And that's how it feels. It's like, oh, like it's almost like you feel like, oh, I used to perform so highly, like why can't I do this? And it's because you're coming into a new space and you haven't really gotten your footing yet. You master one level, you move up to the next, and you haven't mastered that level yet. It's just like a video game. You go to a new level and the monsters are harder, or the blocks are harder, or but it's not impossible. It's just you have to ground into where you're at and master it one step at a time. So make sure you ground when you're going through all these changes. before you move to the next step. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. If you'd like your own support and help, or your own card reading to help you understand the next steps in your healing journey, you can find my services at sacredtwinflameunion.com, and I will see you all in the next video.